What happens next? I know a lot of you are out there watching the news. You're seeing all this stuff transpire. You're angry. You're scared. You're feeling strong emotions, and the future is very uncertain. Some of you are saying we need to get out there and do something. And Pinball Preparedness put out a great video this morning talking and putting into words a bunch of that. Following up on my video from yesterday where I was talking about supplies you might want to stock up on. Supplies to help you not be where things get bad. And I heard from a number of you, you want to do more, or you should do more, or something like that. And others of you are saying, that's a little extreme. I want to let you know where I come from. I worked overseas for several years doing disaster relief in Afghanistan and another country in that area. And being unarmed in a combat zone and in surrounding areas is kind of extreme. I've been caught up in protests in India that were about to turn violent and did turn violent after we left, where we were traveling in a vehicle and we got surrounded by protesters, and they were armed. They had sticks, clubs, flags, and they were getting ready to get rowdy. And they were beating on the side of the vehicle and stuff like that with their hands. They weren't yet beating on with clubs and stuff like that. We were able to drive through that and get out of there without anyone getting injured or anything like that, and without the vehicle being seriously damaged. I've been in one of the Slavic countries, and when there was protests there, Sofia, which is, I forget which country, that's the capital, and there was a big protest there that I happened to be there at the time, and I got to stand on the side and wasn't fully sure exactly, but they were demanding the government step down. This was years ago, but I've been in situations like that. I've been trained by organizations on what to do in these type of zones, and one of the towns we were working in over in Central Asia, we went into shelter in place because of the what was happening in the area. I've woken up to gunshots outside my window and rolled off the bed to get on the floor, and went back, tried to go back to sleep on the floor because it was safer down there. And just, I've experienced things that a lot of Americans haven't experienced. Some have. Some of you have. You've been in the military. You've been living in cities where there's high crime rates. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And it's just people who are all gung-ho to go get in the middle of stuff evidently just don't know what they're talking about. I mean, they haven't experienced these things. You do not want to be there. Okay? When things get real, you don't want to be there. If you're there, you want to get away, okay? And you should get away. That's the smartest thing you can do, is to blend in and get off the streets. Get away, hide, run away, get out of the area. Sometimes you need to stay put and stay low. Some of the times you need to run for your life. And that's important stuff. Things could get bad in the United States. It could get bad where you are. Things can change very, very quickly. We've had a lot of rioting in the United States back in the, decades ago. We had race riots in the United States. We've had a lot of times where people were out on the streets with pitchforks and torches. Not just in modern history, but go back a ways. We've had, the draft riots and stuff like that during the Civil War. There's a lot of history and cycles that have moved through U.S. history, and you go to other countries and you see these same cycles happening. We're not talking about things that never actually happen. We're talking about things that happen every single year, just in different places. So, what do we do about it? get stocked up, the more self-sufficient, the more stocked up you are, the less power people have over you. And that's so very critical. By stocking up, you are doing something. You are declaring your independence. If you're dependent upon the system, you can't declare your independence from the system because you're dependent upon it. They say you're going to have to do whatever in order to come into the store. Well, friends, if you need to go to the store, you're going to do that. You may not like it. You may groan and mumble and whatever. The Soviet Union didn't care what you thought and even what you said in private. They just cared that you did what they told you to do. As long as you did what they told you to do, generally speaking, they were okay with what you were doing. Now, if you're causing problems with what you're saying, yeah, they'd come down on you. But here's the thing. If you're a slave, they don't care if you like being a slave. They don't care if you know that you're a slave. They just care that you do what you're told. So if you aim to misbehave, if you aim to not be a part of what's going on, can you cut the cord between you and the stores, you and the power grid, you and the water grid? If they come after you and say that you need to fall into line or else we're going to take this service away from you, are you going to be able to stay standing? They don't even have to do anything. All they have to do is just threaten to turn off your power. All they have to do is just threaten to bar you from the stores. All they have to do is just threaten to whatever it is, debank you or whatever. Are you going to bow to that pressure? Because if you can't stand on your own 2 feet, if you can't stand up with other people in an alternate economy, if you can't eat and live in some moderate level of comfort without being reliant upon Washington, D.C. and the things that they can take away from you, then don't even talk about what you're going to do. That's a joke. It's really a joke. If you're dependent upon the system, you cannot stand up against the system. And if you don't like the system, well, friends, you need to create a new one for yourself. Hopefully you can work with other people in your area to work together to create a system. Or you can at least stock up enough so that you can be off the system for an extended period of time. It's up to you. What are you going to do about things? Are you upset? Well, fine. Then how about you do something about it? You know, you can talk all you want. And if you talk about the wrong things, they're going to come after you. That's how that works. But if you just are going to sit at home and as they take away the services because you're not complying, and they find that they have no power over you, then you truly are free. And when you're free, you can help other people become free. Friends, it costs something. Freedom isn't free. YouTube is free. I always get surprised and astonished by people who come on the platform and act like I owe them something or other creators on the platform owe them something, and we're providing this for free, right? I'm not charging you anything for these videos, and you don't own me, and I'm independent. I'm free of you. I'm working at being free from the powers that be, and we should all be doing that. I have to watch what I say here. Why? Because I'm still dependent to a degree on this platform. And so I'm not truly free. Just like if you're dependent upon your employer for money, you can't say whatever you want at your job site. You can't. And, that's how it works. You can't go tell off one of their customers because you don't like them. You get fired for doing that. And we should be working towards becoming free, especially as we dislike the system more and more and more. Right now, the benefits outweigh the disadvantages of being on this platform. The opportunity to speak to so many people that I would never be able to speak to apart from this platform. So that's why I'm still here. As long as there's an opportunity to do more good on this platform than bad, here I am. And so don't think you buying those extra cans of soup, buying some propane tanks to cook those cans of soup or to cook other things of food, don't consider that as nothing or even as a small thing. Each little block that you place down of independence starts to add up to something really big. And as other people around you are declaring their independence, it can turn into something big. When everyone stands together, looks at Washington, D.C. and says, you know what, you don't do anything for us. We're just not going to listen to you anymore. What do they do now? What happens when states and counties just say, yeah, we're not going to follow that law? We've already seen some of that stand up. The Second Amendment states and Second Amendment counties, sanctuary states, sanctuary counties, they've already started to talk about those things. We're just not going to follow the rules. We're not going to comply. But if you really want to not comply, you need to be free. You need to not be dependent upon the system. Friends, there is so much going on right now. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't do stupid things. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. There's people out there who are trying to do really dumb things. If you think you can stand toe-to-toe with the federal government and win, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. You need to do what you can, as you can, and get prepared to do more. And